between groundbreaking scientific discoveries and commercially viable products is the first critical step in transforming life science research into impactful ventures. As future leaders in biotech, medtech, or pharmaceutical innovation, your task begins with effectively scouting and validating potential research ideas. The foundation of your entrepreneurial journey is ensuring the scientific novelty you pursue also addresses a significant, tangible market need. Identifying high-potential research begins with a clear understanding of both scientific viability and market demand. First, you'll explore emerging trends in your field of study by actively engaging with recent publications, conference proceedings, and academic presentations. This ongoing environmental scanning allows you to pinpoint promising research areas where technological breakthroughs intersect with pressing market needs. Collaborating closely with university tech transfer offices and industry networks further sharpens your ability to spot early-stage technologies primed for commercialization. Once you've identified a promising concept, the validation phase is crucial. It involves rigorous, structured interviews with potential stakeholders, including end users, clinicians, researchers, hospital administrators, insurance companies, and regulators. The goal of these conversations is to deeply understand the real-world challenges, financial considerations, and practical constraints faced by these stakeholders. Through methods popularized by programs like NSF I-Core, you'll gather direct, candid feedback to validate assumptions about your product's relevance and necessity in the marketplace. A critical element of this validation process is distinguishing clearly between technical and market validation. Technical validation answers the question, can we effectively transition this scientific discovery from the lab bench into a reproducible, scalable application? It may involve preliminary trials, reproducibility studies, or small-scale prototype testing. Conversely, market validation addresses, if we successfully develop this technology, will stakeholders adopt it enthusiastically, and can it be sustainably financed? For market validation, qualitative data from interviews must be augmented by quantitative market analyses, epidemiological statistics, competitor benchmarking, and, where possible, initial expressions of interest or early pilot agreements. Throughout this validation journey, you will encounter the unique complexities of life sciences ventures, primarily their multi-stakeholder nature. Unlike consumer apps or general technology products, life sciences innovations often require unanimous enthusiasm among diverse groups. For instance, clinicians may appreciate the medical benefit, but hospitals must see a financial rationale, and insurers must recognize clear cost-effectiveness before widespread adoption occurs. Ensuring alignment among these varied stakeholders early on is imperative, as any significant skepticism can jeopardize future adoption. To practically execute your validation strategy, a structured framework, such as the Life Sciences Venture Canvas, proves invaluable. This canvas explicitly incorporates the interests of key stakeholders, patients, providers, payers, partners, and permitters, regulators. By meticulously documenting stakeholder feedback, you create a clear roadmap for product features and positioning strategies that genuinely reflect market needs. You learn not only who your real customers are, but precisely what they will require to embrace your innovation. As you refine your idea through these validation exercises, maintaining an agile and adaptive approach is essential. Validation isn't solely about confirming your initial hypotheses. It often leads to significant pivots. Perhaps your novel diagnostic tool initially targets hospital use, but validation conversations suggest a greater early opportunity in a non-clinical research use only market. The flexibility to adjust your pathway based on stakeholder feedback is a hallmark of successful life sciences entrepreneurship. Documentation and synthesis of validation findings should form a robust evidence base to guide future decisions and attract early-stage funding or strategic partnerships. A meticulously recorded validation journey, complete with interviews, market analyses, and stakeholder quotes, demonstrates to investors and grant agencies your venture's credibility, reduces perceived risks, and underpins your claims of market demand. To summarize, the careful scouting and validation of research ideas represent the critical first steps in any life sciences commercialization venture. By actively engaging stakeholders, rigorously testing assumptions, and being willing to pivot, you build the foundation for sustainable, impactful innovation. Your ability to translate complex scientific advancements into practical solutions demanded by the market not only increases the likelihood of your venture's success, but also ensures your work achieves meaningful, real-world impact. Mapping life science research to minimum viable products via no-regulation pathways. In the fast-paced, high-stakes world of life sciences entrepreneurship, speed is essential. Yet, paradoxically, speed often clashes with the traditionally cautious, heavily regulated pathways typical of biotech, pharmaceuticals, and medical devices. Entrepreneurs in these fields frequently find themselves at a crossroads, waiting years for regulatory approval or cleverly charting an alternative, streamlined pathway to early market entry. Today, we'll explore exactly how to navigate this pivotal choice, mapping complex research into a practical minimum viable product, or MVP, by strategically avoiding heavy regulatory oversight. Let's first clearly understand the MVP concept. Originating from the tech startup world, the MVP is the simplest version of a new product that enables a team to collect the maximum amount of validated learning with the least effort. In software or consumer tech, this might be as simple as a basic app prototype. But how do you adapt this to biotech or healthcare, areas characterized by strict regulatory environments, lengthy approval processes, and high development costs? The answer lies in identifying pathways that require minimal or even zero regulatory approval. This strategy, often referred to as a no-regulation or low-regulation pathway, enables life science innovators to quickly enter the market, collect real-world feedback, and generate early revenue. It doesn't mean cutting corners on safety or quality. Rather, it's about understanding and strategically using the regulatory system to your advantage. The first pathway we'll examine is the Research Use Only, or RUO model. Products labeled RUO are explicitly intended for scientific or laboratory research rather than diagnostic or therapeutic use in humans. This label is powerful. It completely bypassed the rigorous scrutiny usually required by regulatory bodies like the FDA. Let's say you've developed a novel biomarker assay. If marketed as a clinical diagnostic, it could take years and millions of dollars to achieve approval. But by first positioning it as a research-only kit, you can immediately offer it to scientists who need it today. This RUO approach lets you validate your technology, refine its performance based on real lab data, and build credibility through early adopter testimonials. Moreover, this tangible evidence greatly strengthens your eventual regulatory submissions for clinical use. The RUO strategy isn't just limited to assays or diagnostic tools. Perhaps you've developed an innovative microscopy technique or a cell culture process. Selling these directly to research institutions and biotech companies as RUO solutions allows you to rapidly demonstrate market traction. Researchers get early access to cutting-edge tools, and your startup earns vital revenue and validation without enduring protracted regulatory timelines. Crucially, this approach doesn't sacrifice scientific integrity. Rather, it amplifies it, allowing innovation to reach its first adopters swiftly and responsibly. Another compelling no-regulation path is targeting wellness or consumer health markets. This sector has exploded in recent years, driven by consumer interest in personal health monitoring, nutrition, fitness tracking, and preventive care. These products, often categorized as general wellness devices or supplements, generally require far less regulatory oversight, provided you don't make explicit medical claims. For example, if you've developed a novel wearable sensor, positioning it as a general wellness product, monitoring stress or sleep rather than diagnosing medical conditions can dramatically reduce the regulatory burden. Take a startup developing a wearable that tracks biomarkers in sweat. Initially, they might avoid medical claims and instead market it as a personal fitness or hydration monitor. Users still receive valuable insights, and the startup can rapidly gather data on real-world performance and user preferences. Later, armed with robust user data and improved device iterations, they can consider applying for regulatory clearance to broaden their product's claims and clinical utility. A similarly strategic approach is leveraging software and digital platforms. Digital health is transforming how healthcare is delivered and experienced, yet it can offer surprisingly lenient regulatory pathways compared to traditional pharmaceuticals or hardware. Many digital tools, such as health coaching apps, medication reminder platforms, or patient education portals, can reach users directly without heavy regulatory involvement, provided they remain educational, supportive, or wellness-oriented rather than explicitly medical. Consider an AI-driven health coaching app. While eventually, this AI might provide sophisticated clinical decision support requiring FDA clearance, initially it can operate safely as an educational tool offering lifestyle recommendations. This MVP not only reaches users quickly, but also serves as a rich source of data, user engagement, and feedback to refine and enhance the AI's capabilities. For life science entrepreneurs developing biologics or therapies, veterinary markets also offer an intriguing low-regulation pathway. Regulatory frameworks for animal health products often move faster and more efficiently than their human counterparts, yet still provide meaningful validation and revenue opportunities. A cell therapy startup, for instance, might initially target veterinary applications, such as regenerative therapies for companion animals, before pursuing human clinical trials. This not only provides early revenues, but also valuable real-world data demonstrating product safety and efficacy, significantly reducing investor risk and uncertainty. Furthermore, the MVP approach in life sciences can involve innovative service-based models. Rather than immediately selling a tangible product, your startup could offer a specialized analytical or diagnostic service. Perhaps your proprietary algorithm analyzes genetic data to predict disease risk. While developing a regulated clinical diagnostic tool would be time-consuming and costly, offering a data analysis service for researchers, pharmaceutical companies, or hospitals in a research capacity avoids immediate regulatory hurdles. This model lets your technology demonstrate value and generate revenue early, strengthening the foundation for later regulatory submissions. At this point, it's crucial to clarify that pursuing no regulation or low regulation pathways doesn't mean ignoring regulation altogether. Rather, it's about thoughtful, informed navigation of existing regulatory boundaries. Always ensure your labeling and marketing materials transparently and clearly communicate the intended use, whether RUO, wellness, veterinary, or research-based services. This approach protects your venture's credibility and trustworthiness, both essential for long-term success. Now, let's explore how to systematically map your scientific innovation to these no-regulation pathways. Begin by clearly defining your innovation's core functionality or unique scientific insight. Ask yourself, what is the simplest market-ready application of this technology? Consider what minimal feature set provides real value without invoking strict regulation. Identify potential early adopters or niches where minimal regulation applies, whether research laboratories, wellness consumers, digital health users, or veterinary markets. Next, perform a detailed competitive analysis within this niche. Understand existing products, customer needs, and potential adoption barriers. Engage directly with target users through customer discovery interviews, clearly understanding their pain points, desires, and willingness to adopt your MVP. Gather qualitative and quantitative feedback, continuously refining your MVP's scope and feature set based on real-world input. Develop a clear go-to-market strategy tailored to your chosen no-regulation pathway. For RUO, build relationships with universities, biotech firms, and research institutions. For wellness or digital products, leverage digital marketing, community building, and consumer engagement tactics. For veterinary applications, partner with veterinary clinics, associations, or animal health distributors. Each pathway requires its distinct approach to distribution, marketing, and customer support. Importantly, design your MVP roadmap with eventual regulatory clearance in mind. Document user feedback, product iterations, and performance data meticulously from the outset. Adopt quality control measures that will later streamline your transition into regulated markets. This careful documentation not only supports regulatory submissions, but also demonstrates your team's diligence and strategic foresight to investors and partners. Real-world examples highlight the success of these strategies. Companies like 23andMe began as direct-to-consumer genetic wellness products, initially avoiding FDA clinical diagnostic claims. Similarly, numerous biotech tools, first released as RUO kits, later transitioned successfully into clinical diagnostic markets. Digital mental health startups routinely launch supportive coaching apps before seeking clearance for clinical use. Each case demonstrates strategic innovation, careful regulatory navigation, and robust market validation. Finally, keep your team agile and responsive. The no-regulation pathway thrives on iterative learning, rapid pivots, and adaptability. Continuously engage with users, refine your product, monitor regulatory developments, and remain prepared to shift your strategy when opportunities arise. Agility and responsiveness define successful life science entrepreneurship, particularly when leveraging no-regulation MVP pathways. Accelerating monetization with effective landing pages and Stripe integration in life science ventures. In the fiercely competitive world of life science entrepreneurship, transforming an innovative idea from concept to commercial success requires more than brilliant science alone. A clear, seamless strategy for rapid monetization is equally crucial. This lecture will deeply explore one of the most accessible, agile, and impactful methods to quickly validate market interest and achieve early revenue in life science ventures. Developing a compelling landing page paired with robust Stripe payment integration. Let's start by understanding precisely why landing pages are so powerful. A landing page isn't just a simple website, it's your first meaningful interaction with potential customers. Unlike general websites filled with numerous pages and links, landing pages have one singular goal: converting visitors into paying customers, subscribers, or users. They achieve this by clearly, succinctly communicating your product's value, directly addressing a specific problem or need, and offering a straightforward pathway to conversion. For life science startups, this conversion pathway often means early product sales, pre-orders, subscriptions to data platforms, research services, or even registrations for webinars and workshops. Each of these interactions not only provides revenue but, critically, validates market interest and customer willingness to pay, essential metrics for attracting investors and partners. Let's dissect the anatomy of a successful landing page. First, the headline, the initial hook, is everything. Your headline must succinctly articulate a clear, compelling value proposition that immediately captures attention. Whether your startup offers innovative biotech assays, personalized health analytics, research use-only laboratory kits, or wellness tracking solutions, your headline should instantly communicate precisely how you solve your target audience's specific problem. For instance, a headline such as "Rapidly identify biomarkers in minutes, not days," clearly signals value to research labs seeking efficiency and accuracy. Next, your value proposition must be both concise and vividly clear. Beneath the headline, briefly describe exactly what your product or service offers, who it's for, and why it's uniquely valuable. Life sciences customers, whether researchers, clinicians, or wellness-focused consumers, appreciate clarity, transparency, and specificity. Avoid technical jargon here. Instead, clearly communicate tangible, relatable benefits. Describe explicitly how your product simplifies laboratory workflows, accelerates research timelines, enhances data reliability, or significantly reduces costs. The heart of any landing page is the call to action, or CTA. This is the pivotal moment where a visitor decides whether your offer resonates strongly enough to convert into action. A great CTA is direct, simple, and highly visible. It might say, pre-order now, request early access, subscribe today, or join our webinar. The choice depends on your business model, product type, and monetization strategy. However, it must always be explicitly clear what happens once the user clicks, providing assurance, clarity, and confidence. Here's where Stripe integration enters the equation, becoming an indispensable part of your rapid monetization strategy. Stripe is more than just a payment processing tool. It's your pathway to instant validation of market demand. Integrating Stripe into your landing page enables you to seamlessly accept online payments securely, quickly, and professionally, often within just hours of setting it up. Stripe's platform is flexible enough for one-time purchases, subscriptions, recurring payments, and even complex billing scenarios common in research or data-driven ventures. Practically speaking, integrating Stripe is straightforward. First, you establish a Stripe account connected to your startup's bank. Next, you configure payment options aligned with your business model, whether one-time transactions for a research-use-only diagnostic kit or monthly subscription fees for access to a bioinformatics platform. Stripe seamlessly generates payment interfaces you can directly embed onto your landing page, significantly simplifying and accelerating the monetization process. Why is Stripe so widely trusted and effective, especially in life science contexts? One critical reason is security and compliance. Stripe handles sensitive financial data securely and complies with rigorous global standards, essential for building trust among customers, particularly in sensitive life science markets. Moreover, its transparent, intuitive interface provides confidence and ease of use for both entrepreneurs and customers alike. Integrating Stripe offers multiple practical benefits beyond revenue alone. For early-stage startups, even modest revenues provide essential validation signals to potential investors. Demonstrating paying customers, even just a handful, proves conclusively that your innovation has genuine market interest. This concrete proof differentiates your startup from those relying solely on theoretical market projections or hypothetical user interest. Moreover, revenue generation through Stripe provides startups with critical early feedback loops. Every transaction generates user data that can inform product iteration, pricing adjustments, and market targeting. Analyzing this data helps entrepreneurs better understand customer behaviors, preferences, and willingness to pay, insights invaluable to strategic decision-making. Early monetization helps startups avoid costly missteps, rapidly refining products based on actual market interactions. Another notable benefit is the ability to build an early customer community. Your landing page, supported by integrated Stripe payments, provides opportunities for direct engagement. Consider incentivizing early adopters with special offers, early access pricing, or exclusive membership benefits. Building this early adopter community is profoundly beneficial, providing your startup with crucial feedback, early advocates, and testimonials, all invaluable as you scale. Let's discuss practical examples of life science startups effectively leveraging landing pages with Stripe integration. Imagine a startup developing innovative microbiome testing kits. Early in their development, rather than waiting for full-scale product completion, they launch a landing page clearly articulating their innovation's value and offering pre-orders at a discounted rate. Integrated Stripe payments securely handle transactions, allowing them to rapidly validate demand and gauge pricing strategies. Customers willing to prepay indicate strong product-market fit, greatly boosting investor confidence and accelerating fundraising. Another example could be a startup offering an AI-driven research analytics platform. Their landing page offers immediate subscription options for beta users via Stripe, quickly converting visitors into paying subscribers. Beyond revenue alone, early subscription revenues fund further platform development, reduce fundraising pressures, and importantly, validate the startup's product value and market interest. Now, Let's address common pitfalls. One frequent error is making the landing page overly complex or cluttered. Remember, clarity is paramount. Each page element must directly support your singular conversion goal. Avoid excessive text, confusing language, multiple competing offers, or unnecessary complexity. Your audience appreciates clarity and simplicity. Make their pathway to conversion smooth, straightforward, and intuitive. Another mistake is inadequate attention to visual design and professionalism. A landing page is often your startup's first customer impression. Ensure it's professionally designed, visually appealing, and easy to navigate. Professionalism builds credibility, and credibility directly influences conversion rates. Simple, clean designs with intuitive layouts consistently outperform cluttered, visually overwhelming pages. Additionally, transparency about the product's development stage is essential. Clearly communicate timelines, risks, and product limitations. Early customers understand they're purchasing early-stage innovations. Honesty about timelines and potential delays builds long-term trust and credibility, far more valuable than short-term revenue alone. Finally, strategically leveraging analytics is crucial. Continuously monitor landing page performance metrics, conversion rates, traffic sources, bounce rates, and customer feedback. Stripe integration provides transaction data essential for financial and product insights. Use these insights rigorously to iterate, refine, and enhance your landing page, product positioning, pricing, and conversion strategies. In conclusion, the strategic combination of a clear, compelling landing page with seamless Stripe integration provides life science startups a powerful pathway for rapid monetization, market validation, and invaluable customer insights. By carefully crafting a persuasive landing page, simplifying the customer journey, transparently communicating value, and leveraging Stripe's robust, secure payment platform, your startup accelerates market entry, reduces uncertainty, and generates early revenue. All essential components for entrepreneurial success in the demanding life sciences landscape. This strategic approach transcends mere tactics. It embodies a deeper philosophy of entrepreneurial agility, rapid market validation, and customer-centered innovation. Embrace this strategy thoughtfully, rigorously, and creatively. By doing so, your venture will confidently navigate the journey from scientific discovery to tangible commercial success, transforming innovative ideas into powerful real-world impact. Lecture 4. Mastering Market Sizing. Understanding TAM, SAM, and SOM in Life Science Ventures. When you embark on the ambitious journey of commercializing a groundbreaking life science innovation, knowing precisely how large your potential market is, and understanding how much of it you can realistically capture, is absolutely critical. Investors, strategic partners, and stakeholders frequently ask about market size, and your answer often shapes their confidence in your venture. This lecture will meticulously explore how to accurately define, calculate, and communicate your total addressable market, TAM, serviceable available market, SAM, and serviceable obtainable market, SOM, in the specific context of life science entrepreneurship. Let's begin by clearly defining these terms. The total addressable market, or TAM, represents the overall revenue opportunity available if your product or service were fully adopted worldwide, with no constraints. Think of this as the maximum global market potential, the total demand for your solution, assuming unlimited resources and market reach. While TAM provides a sense of the ultimate market potential, it is often theoretical and intentionally broad, designed to communicate the larger vision and scope of your opportunity. Next, the serviceable available market, or SAM, narrows the focus. SAM refers specifically to the segment of the total market you can realistically target given your current product positioning, regulatory pathway, and business strategy. For life science startups, SAM takes into account geographical constraints, regulatory approvals, and your solution's intended applications. For example, your TAM might encompass the entire global diagnostics market, but your SAM might only include specific disease diagnostics within a targeted geography where your regulatory approval is realistic and achievable in the short to medium term. Finally, the serviceable obtainable market, or SOM, is your most practical and immediate focus. SOM is the portion of your SAM that your business can reasonably capture in a defined period, typically 3 to 5 years. SOM accounts explicitly for factors such as competition, market dynamics, your available resources, and distribution capabilities. Essentially, SOM answers the crucial question investors frequently pose: how much revenue can you realistically generate soon? Now, let's explore practical, rigorous methods for calculating TAM, SAM, and SOM in life sciences. Calculating TAM usually involves a combination of top-down and bottom-up market analysis. Top-down approaches leverage broad industry statistics, reports, and databases. Suppose your innovation is a novel diagnostic for a common chronic disease. A top-down approach might involve identifying the total global prevalence of that disease, multiplied by the average annual spending per patient for diagnostic tests. Such data is often available through reputable sources like industry publications, government statistics, market research reports, or medical journals. In contrast, bottom-up calculations start from granular, specific data points and build upward. Here, you estimate potential revenues based on direct market interactions or assumptions derived from detailed customer discovery. Imagine your startup provides a specialized laboratory reagent for gene sequencing. A bottom-up approach might begin by calculating the number of relevant labs, the typical amount each lab spends annually on comparable reagents, and your potential pricing. These detailed insights, aggregated, produce a realistic and defensible estimate of your market potential. In practice, combining top-down and bottom-up calculations significantly enhances market sizing credibility. The top-down approach illustrates large-scale potential, while bottom-up calculations ground your projections in verifiable market data. Calculating your SAM demands specificity and strategic thinking. Clearly define the subset of your TAM relevant to your startup's strategy and capabilities. For instance, if regulatory pathways limit your diagnostic initially to the US and European markets, focus your SAM calculation precisely on these regions. Utilize market research, government health reports, competitor analysis, and clinical literature to define this subset clearly. For life sciences startups, regulatory approval pathways often directly shape your SAM. If your innovation is initially designated as Research Use Only, RUO, your SAM includes the research labs and biotech companies that purchase RUO products, rather than broader clinical markets. Understanding these distinctions ensures realistic, investor-ready SAM estimates. Calculating SOM, your obtainable market, requires rigorous realism. Consider carefully your competitive landscape, internal resources, sales channels, and realistic customer acquisition rates. Typically, SOM involves scenario analyses, estimating your market share under best case, worst case, and most likely scenarios. For instance, your life sciences startup offering a novel biomarker detection technology might realistically capture 2%-5% of your SAM within the first 3 years due to initial market entry constraints, resource limitations, and established competition. Next, let's illustrate this approach with a tangible life sciences example. Suppose your startup has developed a revolutionary early cancer detection diagnostic. Using a top-down method, you identify the global cancer diagnostics market size, perhaps tens of billions annually. This gives a compelling sense of long-term potential. However, your SAM calculation acknowledges current regulatory approvals, limiting your product initially to a specific market, perhaps colorectal cancer screening in North America and Europe. Market research indicates this niche is worth approximately $2 billion annually. Your SOM calculation further narrows your focus, realistically projecting your startup capturing 3% to 5% of this segment within the next 5 years, reflecting realistic sales cycles, marketing efforts, distribution, and competitive positioning. Providing investors with clearly delineated TAM, SAM, and SOM calculations demonstrates thorough strategic thinking, market realism, and analytical rigor, critical to gaining investor confidence. Next, Let's discuss some common pitfalls to avoid. The most frequent pitfall is overly optimistic or inflated market sizing. Investors quickly recognize unrealistic, overly broad TAM figures or exaggerated SOM projections. Overestimating market size undermines investor trust and credibility. Ensure transparency by clearly documenting assumptions, data sources, and calculation methods. Another common error is neglecting to account adequately for regulatory constraints in your SAM calculations. Regulatory approval timelines and restrictions significantly impact market access in life sciences. Always consider realistic approval pathways, timelines, and associated market constraints explicitly in your calculations. Additionally, entrepreneurs frequently underestimate competitive intensity when projecting SOM. Realistic SOM calculations require clear-eyed competitive analysis, carefully examining existing players, their market share, strengths, and customer loyalty. Realism regarding competition signals maturity and strategic insight, enhancing investor credibility. Clear professional communication of your market sizing calculations is essential. Investors seek clear, concise visuals such as well-designed graphics showing TAM, SAM, and SOM in concentric circles, clearly labeling market sizes, assumptions, and timelines. Clarity and transparency in presentation enhance investor comprehension, trust, and confidence. Finally, regularly revisit and update your market sizing analysis as your venture evolves. Market conditions change, new data emerges, and regulatory landscapes shift. Regular market sizing updates demonstrate your team's market responsiveness and strategic agility, critical qualities investors highly value. In conclusion, rigorously defining, calculating, and communicating TAM, SAM, and SOM is foundational for life science startups. Thoughtful, transparent market sizing analysis provides entrepreneurs and investors critical clarity, confidence, and strategic insight. By combining top-down and bottom-up methods, carefully considering regulatory constraints, rigorously assessing competition, and clearly communicating your findings, you position your venture strongly to attract investors, strategic partners, and customer confidence. Market sizing isn't merely a technical exercise, it's fundamentally strategic. Effective market sizing guides crucial decisions around resource allocation, go-to-market strategies, pricing, partnerships, and overall business strategy. Mastering this skill profoundly enhances your entrepreneurial effectiveness, positioning your startup not merely for theoretical market potential, but for concrete, sustained commercial success in the dynamic, challenging life sciences marketplace. Leveraging B2B, B2C, and B2G models in life science entrepreneurship. As life science entrepreneurs navigating the nuanced pathways from innovation to commercial success, one of your most critical strategic decisions involves choosing the most suitable market model for your venture. Three primary pathways dominate the commercialization landscape: business to business, B2B, business to consumer, B2C, and business to government, B2G. Today, we'll deeply examine each model, unpacking their distinct dynamics, advantages, pitfalls, and specific implications for life science startups. Mastery of these insights is foundational, enabling strategic clarity, informed decision-making, and powerful positioning in your market. Let's begin by understanding clearly the fundamental distinctions between these three models. First, the B2B, business-to-business model. In a B2B framework, your startup sells products or services directly to other businesses, such as research institutions, hospitals, biotech companies, pharmaceutical firms, diagnostic labs, or digital health providers. This model is characterized by longer sales cycles, substantial contracts, complex negotiations, and relationship-driven transactions. In life sciences, B2B often involves selling specialized research tools, diagnostic platforms, laboratory equipment, analytical software, or therapeutic components directly to industry partners or healthcare institutions. The critical advantage of a B2B approach lies in revenue potential and predictability. Transactions are typically larger, stable, and recurring once established. Moreover, Relationships built within B2B sales often create sustainable revenue streams through long-term partnerships and continuous orders. However, the downside involves significant upfront investments in sales teams, lengthy sales cycles, and extensive relationship building efforts. Decision-making within businesses is often slower, involving numerous stakeholders, requiring substantial patience, persistence, and strategic relationship management. Consider a startup developing an innovative genomic sequencing platform. Initially, adopting a B2B approach, they target specialized laboratories, biotech companies, and research institutions as their core customers. This approach requires deep domain expertise, rigorous validation data, detailed technical demonstrations, and extensive customer support. But once contracts are secured, revenue streams become predictable and substantial. Next, the B2C, business-to-consumer model. Here, startups directly engage individual consumers. In life sciences, this typically means consumer-focused health, wellness, or personalized medicine products. Think of wearable health devices, at-home diagnostics, personalized nutrition services, wellness supplements, or digital health applications directly accessible to end users. The central advantage of a B2C model is speed and market agility. Consumer decisions happen rapidly, often in hours or days. The sales cycles are significantly shorter, allowing swift market validation, immediate feedback loops, and rapid iterations. B2C transactions frequently involve direct online sales, subscription models, or retail channels, all characterized by simplicity and convenience for consumers. However, B2C has inherent challenges, primarily around marketing complexity, competition intensity, price sensitivity, and scalability pressures. B2C markets are typically crowded, demanding highly effective branding, digital marketing, customer support, and continuous engagement strategies. Moreover, individual consumer transactions are smaller, necessitating volume-driven sales strategies for sustained profitability. For example, imagine a startup producing a wearable health monitoring device. The B2C model allows rapid launch directly to consumers through online platforms, digital advertising, and social media engagement. Consumer feedback arrives quickly, enabling rapid product refinement. But the startup must continuously navigate competitive pressures, consumer preferences, and evolving market trends to succeed. Lastly, the B2G, business-to-government model. In life sciences, this involves directly providing products or services to governmental entities, public health agencies, regulatory authorities, or military health systems. Contracts are often significant in size, long-term, and highly stable once secured. Governments frequently seek innovative healthcare solutions addressing public health crises, diagnostics, biothreat preparedness, epidemiological research, or health data analytics. The primary advantage of a B2G model is reliability and scale. Government contracts provide stable, predictable revenue streams, offering significant long-term growth potential. Additionally, governmental collaboration often enhances credibility, prestige, and validation, significantly strengthening your market reputation. However, securing government contracts requires navigating complex procurement processes, rigorous compliance standards, stringent quality regulations, and extensive paperwork. Sales cycles are notably longer, often months to years, with bureaucratic complexities demanding significant resources, patience, and persistence. Consider a biotech startup developing rapid infectious disease diagnostics. By leveraging a B2G approach, they secure governmental contracts from public health agencies responding to global outbreaks. Though initially challenging, securing such contracts offers long-term financial stability, substantial revenues, and strategic market positioning. Now, how do you practically choose among these models for your startup? Your decision fundamentally depends on your product characteristics, market dynamics, resources, and strategic vision. If your product involves specialized, technical solutions, research-oriented diagnostics, or clinical tools, often requiring extensive support, demonstrations, and detailed validations, then B2B might suit best. If rapid scalability, Broad consumer appeal, ease of use, and quick market entry are paramount. B2C models provide substantial advantages. If your solution uniquely addresses public health challenges, infectious disease preparedness, biothreats, or healthcare analytics at scale, B2G pathways offer compelling strategic opportunities. Furthermore, strategic hybrid approaches frequently enhance overall success. Many life science startups initially adopt hybrid models, selling B2B solutions for immediate stable revenues while simultaneously launching B2C products for rapid market validation and feedback. Alternatively, startups often leverage early B2G contracts to establish credibility, scale quickly, and then expand into broader B2B or B2C markets. To effectively navigate these pathways, let's review key tactical insights. B2B success demands deeply technical sales teams, relationship-driven strategies, industry credibility, comprehensive validation data, and long-term customer support infrastructure. Relationship building, industry partnerships, and strategic alliances significantly enhance market positioning and credibility. B2C success requires agile digital marketing, robust online presence, compelling consumer branding, efficient logistics, excellent customer service, and rapid iteration capabilities based on consumer feedback. Leveraging social proof, testimonials, and influential consumer advocates can rapidly accelerate market adoption. B2G success involves mastering procurement processes, compliance rigor, regulatory literacy, detailed documentation, and strategic governmental relationships. Patience, persistence, and clarity in navigating bureaucracy are critical. Strategic partnerships with established governmental contractors frequently accelerate success. Lastly, let's summarize essential best practices applicable across models: clarity, strategic focus, adaptability, deep customer understanding, meticulous execution, and rigorous data-driven market analysis. Regardless of the model chosen, your startup's strategic agility, market responsiveness, and execution rigor fundamentally determine your long-term success. In conclusion, strategically choosing and effectively executing B2B, B2C, or B2G models, or smart combinations thereof, is foundational to life science entrepreneurial success. Mastering these distinct pathways demands comprehensive market understanding, thoughtful strategic planning, and rigorous execution discipline. Clearly communicating your chosen strategy and its rationale profoundly enhances investor confidence, stakeholder support, and market credibility. Ultimately, deeply understanding these commercial pathways equips your startup with strategic clarity and agility, enabling you not merely to navigate complexity, but to transform complexity itself into a competitive advantage. By thoughtfully leveraging B2B, B2C, and B2G models, your innovative ideas gain powerful momentum, rapidly advancing from brilliant scientific concepts to impactful, thriving commercial realities, driving meaningful advances in healthcare, wellness, and scientific progress. Building your prototyping toolchain and data workflow for life science startups. In life sciences entrepreneurship, the critical journey from groundbreaking scientific research to a commercially viable product requires meticulous strategy, rigorous prototyping, and a disciplined approach to data management. Today, we'll deeply explore exactly how to assemble an effective, affordable, and agile prototyping toolchain, paired with robust data workflows. This foundational lecture will guide you step by step, clearly illustrating how cutting-edge tools like Claude, Replicate, Cursor, GitHub, and affordable cloud compute solutions can strategically accelerate your life sciences venture from idea to impactful reality. Let's begin by clearly understanding what a prototyping toolchain means in the life sciences context. Essentially, your prototyping toolchain represents the suite of interconnected tools, software, and platforms you use to rapidly develop, test, refine, and validate your early-stage innovation. A well-designed toolchain enables rapid iteration, cost-effective experimentation, and scalable development, all essential attributes for successful, lean, agile entrepreneurship. For life sciences startups, often constrained by limited resources, demanding regulatory environments, and intense market pressures. The ability to quickly prototype and validate your technology becomes not just advantageous, but absolutely critical. Moreover, robust prototyping enables early validation, reduces costly mistakes, and accelerates your journey toward meaningful, impactful market entry. Let's systematically explore the essential components of your prototyping toolchain. First, let's consider Claude, an advanced AI-driven tool that accelerates your product development through automated code generation, rapid ideation, and deep technical exploration. Claude enables you to translate complex ideas into actionable prototypes by quickly generating software code, data analysis scripts, or even initial website designs, freeing your time and resources for strategic, high-value activities. In life sciences, Claude particularly shines in rapidly prototyping analytical algorithms, bioinformatics pipelines, or data visualization interfaces, significantly accelerating your validation cycles. Next, we incorporate Replicate, a highly efficient platform for accessing and deploying cutting-edge machine learning models without extensive computational expertise. Replicate enables life sciences startups to rapidly experiment with sophisticated predictive models, biological simulations, or image analysis algorithms, without the heavy investment in data scientists or extensive computational infrastructure. Leveraging Replicate, your team can quickly validate complex hypotheses, prototype predictive diagnostics, or develop early-stage digital health tools, accelerating your innovation pathway significantly. Cursor is another invaluable addition, offering affordable, easy-to-use compute resources ideal for life sciences startups operating on tight budgets. Cursor provides straightforward cloud computing environments specifically tailored for developers and researchers. Whether running computationally intensive bioinformatics analyses, simulations, or AI-driven experiments, Cursor allows you cost-effective, rapid iteration, significantly reducing computational overhead. Affordable compute solutions like Cursor democratize powerful computational resources, enabling resource-constrained startups to compete effectively against larger, more established players. Integrating GitHub into your toolchain is essential for effective, collaborative, version-controlled software and data management. GitHub's platform allows your team to seamlessly manage prototype iterations, experimental data, code versions, and documentation. Whether you're collaboratively developing bioinformatics scripts, building predictive analytics pipelines, or iterating on digital prototypes, GitHub ensures organized, secure, transparent project management. Version control prevents costly mistakes, facilitates collaborative innovation, and ensures clarity in your development process, qualities investors deeply value. Lastly, robust, secure cloud storage and data management are essential components. Platforms such as Amazon Web Services, AWS, Google Cloud, or Microsoft Azure offer secure, scalable solutions suitable for life sciences startups. These cloud platforms provide secure data storage, computational scalability, and rigorous compliance standards, critical attributes in the sensitive, regulated world of life sciences. Carefully choosing secure cloud solutions ensures your data workflows remain compliant, secure, scalable, and strategically agile. Now, let's deeply explore an effective, integrated life science data workflow leveraging these tools. A well-structured workflow begins with clearly defined data acquisition, moves through rigorous pre-processing and secure storage, integrates powerful analytical tools, and concludes with insightful, actionable data visualization. Initially, data acquisition involves clearly defining and securely gathering essential data: genomic sequences, clinical trial information, wearable sensor data, or diagnostic outputs. Data quality at this stage is paramount. Robust acquisition strategies directly influence downstream analysis reliability. Ensure precise data capture, standardized formats, and meticulous documentation from the outset. Next, your workflow moves to rigorous data pre-processing, cleaning, structuring, and harmonizing data sets. Tools like Claude can significantly accelerate pre-processing, automatically generating scripts that cleanse, format, and harmonize diverse datasets rapidly. High-quality pre-processing ensures your analytical outcomes remain accurate, reliable, and meaningful. Once pre-processed, secure data storage becomes essential. Robust cloud platforms ensure data security, regulatory compliance, and scalability. Utilize established cloud providers like AWS or Google Cloud, choosing solutions explicitly aligned with life sciences data requirements. Ensure careful configuration for compliance, such as HIPAA regulations for healthcare data, and meticulously document all security practices to enhance investor confidence. Subsequent analytical stages leverage powerful machine learning tools accessible via Replicate. Whether you're predicting patient outcomes, analyzing genomic data, or building AI-driven diagnostic tools, Replicate enables rapid, accessible machine learning experimentation. This allows your team to quickly validate complex biological hypotheses, predictive models, or diagnostic analytics, significantly accelerating innovation cycles. Finally, data visualization translates complex analytical outputs into actionable insights. Using Claude and Replicate-generated analytical outputs, visualization tools clearly communicate insights, validating product effectiveness, usability, and impact. User-friendly dashboards, diagnostic interfaces, or graphical representations clearly communicate value to stakeholders, investors, customers, regulators, and strategic partners. Throughout this workflow, GitHub maintains rigorous version control, documentation, and collaborative transparency, ensuring consistent, iterative improvements and clear project management. Cursor ensures computational affordability and scalability, enabling resource-intensive analyses and iterative prototyping cycles without prohibitive costs. Practical examples illustrate these principles clearly. Consider a startup developing personalized cancer diagnostics. Initially, they securely collect genomic sequencing data, leveraging Claude for rapid pre-processing scripts that standardize genomic inputs. Cursor provides affordable computing resources for computationally intensive analyses, while Replicate allows them quick, accessible exploration of predictive cancer risk models. GitHub manages their collaborative development, ensuring rigorous documentation and version control. Finally, secure cloud storage maintains regulatory compliance, and visualization tools communicate predictive diagnostics clearly to clinicians. This integrated toolchain accelerates their innovation dramatically, offering strategic advantage and clear market differentiation. Entrepreneurs frequently encounter pitfalls, however, in prototyping and data workflows. Common errors include inadequate data documentation, insufficient regulatory compliance attention, poor integration among tools, and neglecting rigorous data quality. Meticulous planning, clear integration, rigorous compliance focus, and continuous documentation significantly mitigate these risks. Regular reviews of your toolchain ensure agility, responsiveness, and continuous improvement. Market conditions evolve rapidly, new technologies emerge, and your startup's requirements change over time. Regularly reassessing your toolchain ensures strategic alignment, continuous innovation, and rigorous data management standards. In summary, effectively assembling an affordable, agile, robust prototyping toolchain combined with rigorous, compliant data workflows significantly accelerates life sciences innovation. Strategic integration of cutting-edge tools like Claude, Replicate, Cursor, GitHub, and secure cloud solutions provides clear competitive advantages, reducing costs, accelerating timelines, enhancing data quality, and profoundly impacting entrepreneurial success. Meticulous execution, continuous innovation, and rigorous compliance provide essential credibility, confidence, and competitive positioning. In the hyper-competitive realm of life sciences entrepreneurship, creating groundbreaking innovations alone isn't sufficient for sustainable commercial success. Effective marketing strategies are absolutely critical. Strategies capable of clearly communicating your product's unique value, building brand awareness, and converting targeted audiences into engaged, loyal customers. Today's lecture will meticulously explore how your life science venture can strategically leverage a powerful multi-channel marketing approach, with LinkedIn serving as the core foundation, amplifying your startup's impact, credibility, and market penetration. Let's first clearly understand why a multi-channel approach is fundamentally essential. Modern customers, whether researchers, clinicians, investors, or consumers, interact across numerous platforms, devices, and content forms. A singular marketing channel seldom captures your entire target audience effectively. Multi-channel marketing strategically integrates multiple interconnected platforms, each carefully selected to complement your overall marketing objectives, enabling comprehensive, consistent engagement across diverse customer segments. Specifically, we'll explore how LinkedIn, uniquely suited for life sciences and professional environments, can anchor your multi-channel marketing strategy. LinkedIn combines professional credibility, targeted networking, robust content dissemination, and powerful event-based marketing tools, making it uniquely effective for life science ventures targeting professional audiences like researchers, healthcare providers, investors, industry leaders, and regulatory bodies. The power of LinkedIn begins with company pages, your professional digital storefront. Establishing a credible, detailed LinkedIn company page clearly communicates your startup's mission, scientific expertise, innovation focus, product offerings, and market differentiation. Your page should concisely highlight your innovation's unique value, incorporating compelling visuals, clear messaging, and accessible contact pathways. Moreover, LinkedIn's integrated analytics provide invaluable insights on visitor demographics, engagement metrics, and follower growth, critical for continuous improvement and strategic refinement. Beyond static pages, LinkedIn significantly amplifies your reach through thought leadership content. Life sciences ventures operate in domains where credibility, trust, and technical insight profoundly impact customer and investor confidence. Regularly publishing expert insights, scientific breakthroughs, case studies, white papers, and engaging updates significantly enhances your industry authority, credibility, and follower engagement. Thought leadership content also attracts strategically valuable attention from industry partners, regulatory bodies, and potential investors, essential relationships that drive commercial success. One especially impactful LinkedIn feature is LinkedIn Events. Events enable your venture to directly engage professional audiences through webinars, seminars, product demonstrations, investor presentations, or panel discussions. Events create highly focused, interactive engagement, fostering meaningful connections, capturing valuable leads, and significantly strengthening industry visibility. With LinkedIn Events, your startup gains powerful, targeted marketing capabilities, building professional networks, market authority, and generating high-quality engagement. Let's explore an example to illustrate these strategies clearly. Suppose your startup develops an innovative diagnostic platform. You could strategically leverage LinkedIn Events to host regular educational webinars, showcasing your technology's scientific validation, clinical utility, and unique advantages. These webinars attract targeted professional attendees, researchers, clinicians, and industry leaders, enabling direct interaction, professional relationship building, and high-quality lead generation. Recordings and highlights from these webinars become valuable, evergreen content, repurposed across your multi-channel strategy. Expanding beyond LinkedIn, your multi-channel strategy must thoughtfully incorporate complementary platforms that strategically amplify your message. Podcasts, for instance, are increasingly powerful within life sciences marketing. Podcasts offer intimate, detailed explorations of scientific concepts, innovations, and industry trends, perfect for intellectually curious, professionally engaged life science audiences. Developing your branded podcast or collaborating with existing influential podcasts enhances brand visibility, industry authority, and professional engagement. Imagine hosting a podcast exploring personalized medicine advancements, featuring industry-leading scientists, clinicians, and thought leaders. Each episode creates engaging, insightful content, building credibility, industry presence, and direct connections with influential figures. Crucially, podcasts build loyal, deeply engaged audiences, amplifying your strategic marketing efforts significantly. YouTube also effectively complements LinkedIn marketing, especially for visual or complex product demonstrations, scientific animations, expert interviews, or detailed tutorials. Videos effectively communicate complex life sciences concepts, gene editing techniques, diagnostic processes, or device demonstrations in accessible, engaging formats. Integrating YouTube content across LinkedIn posts, your website, newsletters, and email campaigns enhances visual storytelling, customer education, and strategic engagement. Additionally, leveraging Twitter, now rebranded as X, especially for rapid dissemination of scientific breakthroughs, conference highlights, industry news, or engaging short-form content, significantly expands your marketing reach. Twitter provides real-time engagement, rapid networking, and amplification, connecting your brand with professional communities, industry trends, and influential dialogues. Strategic hashtag usage and engagement with industry influencers further amplify your visibility. Email newsletters strategically integrate directly with LinkedIn, podcasts, videos, and Twitter, creating consistent, regular touchpoints directly in your audience's inboxes. Regular newsletters provide concise updates, exclusive content, event invitations, and insightful industry commentary, building subscriber loyalty, reinforcing brand authority, and nurturing long-term customer relationships. Let's practically illustrate this integrated approach with another clear example. Suppose your venture develops novel AI-driven health analytics software. Your LinkedIn company page becomes the professional hub, regularly publishing expert content, industry insights, and customer testimonials. LinkedIn events host webinars highlighting successful case studies. Your podcast explores healthcare analytics trends, featuring influential thought leaders. YouTube videos demonstrate software functionality and user testimonials. Twitter amplifies your content rapidly, and your email newsletter ties everything together strategically, reinforcing engagement across channels and creating cohesive brand messaging. However, entrepreneurs frequently face challenges when executing multi-channel strategies. Common pitfalls include inconsistent messaging across platforms, poor audience targeting, overextension beyond resource capabilities, or inadequate measurement and analytics usage. Avoid these issues through meticulous planning, clear messaging guidelines, strategic audience targeting, and rigorous analytics review, ensuring cohesive, measurable, effective multi-channel execution. To succeed strategically, prioritize consistent, cohesive messaging. Every channel must clearly articulate your core value proposition, brand identity, and key differentiators. Strategic alignment builds brand trust, clarity, and customer confidence, critical elements for long-term market success. Leverage analytics rigorously. LinkedIn, podcast platforms, YouTube, Twitter, and email marketing platforms each provide detailed performance insights. Regularly review metrics, audience engagement, content performance, follower growth, lead generation, and conversion rates to continually refine, improve, and strategically adapt your multi-channel strategy. Maintain content quality rigorously. In life sciences, credibility, technical accuracy, and intellectual engagement are critical. High-quality, thoughtful, scientifically accurate content profoundly impacts industry authority, customer trust, and professional credibility, driving sustained commercial success. Finally, continuously evolve your strategy. Markets shift rapidly, new platforms emerge, audience preferences evolve, and competitors innovate continuously. Remain agile, adaptive, and responsive, regularly evaluating performance, testing new content types, exploring emerging platforms, and innovating strategically to maintain competitive advantages. In conclusion, strategically leveraging LinkedIn as your multi-channel marketing anchor, supported by complementary channels like podcasts, YouTube, Twitter, and email newsletters, profoundly enhances your life sciences startup's market penetration, visibility, credibility, and customer engagement. Executed rigorously, strategically, and cohesively, this multi-channel approach transforms brilliant scientific innovation into market-leading commercial success, accelerating your venture from groundbreaking ideas to industry leadership, amplifying your life science venture through strategic events, webinars, podcasts, and thought leadership. In the demanding and nuanced ecosystem of life sciences, exceptional innovations alone seldom guarantee commercial success. It is equally critical for entrepreneurs to establish authority, build meaningful relationships, and communicate effectively with their stakeholders, ranging from scientists and clinicians to investors and industry leaders. Today's lecture explores a powerful strategy for achieving precisely this: harnessing events, webinars, podcasts, and thought leadership initiatives to position your life science venture strategically within the competitive market landscape. Let's begin by clearly defining what thought leadership means in life sciences entrepreneurship. Thought leadership involves consistently sharing insightful, authoritative, and forward-thinking content that highlights your expertise, innovative perspective, and deep understanding of industry trends and challenges. In life sciences, this often means showcasing your scientific acumen, clinical insights, regulatory literacy, strategic foresight, and practical solutions to critical healthcare and research challenges. Why is thought leadership particularly essential for life science startups? Simply put, credibility in this industry is foundational. Stakeholders, whether potential investors, industry collaborators, healthcare providers, or regulators, must deeply trust in your scientific rigor, ethical standards, and professional expertise. Thought leadership explicitly demonstrates these qualities. When executed well, it profoundly differentiates your venture, establishes credibility, and enhances your brand's reputation across your industry. Now, let's carefully examine how three powerful formats, events, webinars, and podcasts, complement and amplify your thought leadership strategy. First, events play a uniquely powerful role in life sciences entrepreneurship. Whether industry conferences, expert panels, product demonstrations, or professional networking forums, events provide direct opportunities to build meaningful, face-to-face relationships. Participating in or hosting events allows your startup to communicate complex innovations, such as groundbreaking diagnostics, cutting-edge therapies, innovative research platforms, or advanced bioinformatics tools, in a clear, impactful, and highly personal way. Face-to-face events provide the invaluable opportunity to establish trust, showcase your team's expertise, and generate lasting professional connections. When strategically executed, events foster immediate credibility and visibility. Imagine presenting your latest diagnostic technology at a respected medical or biotech conference. Directly engaging with clinicians, researchers, industry leaders, and potential investors on-site positions your venture as credible, knowledgeable, and approachable. High-quality event participation significantly raises your industry profile, providing tangible, measurable returns, such as strong professional networks, market awareness, and qualified sales leads. Next, webinars strategically extend your thought leadership efforts into the digital realm. Unlike traditional events, webinars offer global reach, efficient scalability, and precise targeting. Life sciences entrepreneurs can leverage webinars to deeply engage a carefully selected audience, ranging from industry professionals and potential investors to targeted clinicians or researchers. Consider hosting regular webinars showcasing your scientific innovations, clinical studies, regulatory breakthroughs, or insightful industry forecasts. Webinars enable you to precisely control the narrative and dialogue around your technology, innovation, or scientific approach. Additionally, interactive features such as live Q&A sessions, real-time polling, and engaging panel discussions enhance the quality of audience interaction. Crucially, webinar recordings provide valuable evergreen content, consistently reusable across your website, social media platforms, and marketing campaigns, further amplifying audience reach and thought leadership visibility. Imagine your startup specializing in personalized genomics, a series of targeted webinars exploring breakthroughs in genomic sequencing, regulatory advancements, clinical adoption strategies, or patient case studies significantly enhances your venture's reputation as a leader in genomic innovation. Engaging webinars directly increase stakeholder confidence, strategic credibility, and commercial effectiveness, simultaneously generating valuable, measurable leads. Third, podcasts uniquely complement your strategy. Podcasts provide intimate, engaging, long-form opportunities to explore complex scientific and market issues thoroughly. Unlike traditional marketing channels, podcasts cultivate loyal audiences deeply interested in nuanced, thoughtful content, making them ideal for professional life science audiences, clinicians, scientists, investors, regulators, and policymakers who value substantive, in-depth discussions. Your venture could host its own podcast or strategically engage with existing influential podcasts. Hosting a podcast offers direct control over themes, guests, and messaging, allowing strategic positioning as a leading voice within your scientific domain. Guest appearances on influential podcasts rapidly extend your professional reach, enhancing credibility, visibility, and authority within influential industry conversations. Imagine a podcast focusing on advancements in digital health innovation, personalized medicine, or AI-driven diagnostics. Regular episodes featuring industry leaders, renowned clinicians, influential investors, or pioneering researchers significantly strengthen your industry credibility, foster influential professional connections, and amplify your strategic visibility. Podcasts build highly engaged, deeply loyal professional communities, further reinforcing your startup's market leadership and industry influence. Critically, success across these channels demands strategic integration. Thoughtfully combining events, webinars, and podcasts into cohesive, strategically aligned campaigns amplifies their overall impact. Consider a startup focused on AI-powered clinical decision support. The team participates in strategic industry conferences, leveraging direct interactions to showcase their technology and establish credibility. Regular webinars follow, expanding audience reach, creating evergreen digital assets, and generating measurable leads. Complementary podcasts explore deeper clinical implications, regulatory considerations, and market opportunities, reinforcing thought leadership and fostering audience loyalty. Integration amplifies effectiveness dramatically. Events build direct connections. Webinars extend strategic reach. Podcasts deepen professional engagement. Integrated multi-format campaigns profoundly enhance strategic positioning, market authority, and stakeholder trust, directly translating into competitive advantages, revenue growth, and long-term commercial success. Effective implementation requires meticulous planning, preparation, and execution. Define clear objectives, such as building credibility, generating qualified leads, fostering strategic partnerships, or enhancing visibility. Clearly identify your audience, clinicians, researchers, regulatory bodies, investors, or strategic industry partners, and select event, webinar, and podcast topics explicitly tailored to their interests, concerns, and professional challenges. Prioritize content quality rigorously. Life sciences audiences demand scientific accuracy, regulatory understanding, clinical relevance, and strategic depth. Meticulous preparation, technical accuracy, and credible presentations are essential. Engage deeply knowledgeable speakers, panelists, and podcast guests. Professionalism and authority build trust, reinforce credibility, and enhance audience engagement. Analytics and measurement remain critical. Rigorously track attendance, engagement metrics, lead capture, audience interaction, content downloads, and follow-up conversions. Comprehensive measurement enables continual strategic refinement, enhancing your effectiveness, impact, and return on investment. Demonstrating analytical rigor significantly strengthens investor confidence, stakeholder trust, and strategic clarity. Maintain clear, cohesive branding and consistent messaging across all channels. Professional visual presentation, coherent messaging, strategic alignment, and consistent brand identity reinforce professional credibility, market recognition, and stakeholder trust. Consistent professionalism significantly enhances strategic effectiveness, stakeholder confidence, and market penetration. Recognize common pitfalls and challenges. Poorly targeted audience selection, inconsistent messaging, insufficient promotion, inadequate preparation, or superficial content quality undermine strategic impact significantly. Meticulous planning, targeted promotion, rigorous content preparation, professional delivery, and continuous strategic refinement mitigate these risks, ensuring optimal effectiveness. Regularly review and evolve your strategy. Markets rapidly change, audience preferences evolve, competitor strategies shift, and new engagement channels emerge continually. Remain agile, adaptive, and strategically responsive. Regular strategic reviews, audience feedback, performance analytics, and industry trend assessments inform continuous strategic refinement and innovation, enhancing competitive advantage and sustained market success. In conclusion, strategically leveraging events, webinars, podcasts, and comprehensive thought leadership initiatives significantly enhances your life sciences ventures credibility, visibility, stakeholder trust, and market impact. Thoughtful integration, rigorous planning, professional execution, and continual refinement transforms scientific innovation into sustained commercial success, industry leadership, and meaningful market influence. Embracing these strategies equips your venture profoundly, enabling confident navigation of complex life sciences markets, leveraging credibility, relationships, strategic influence, and professional authority into powerful competitive advantages. Ultimately, your startup's strategic identity becomes deeply informed by events, webinars, podcasts, and thought leadership, accelerating your journey from groundbreaking scientific innovation to sustained industry leadership and transformative impact. Funding Strategy Masterclass. Navigating grants, SBIR, STTR, angel investors, and venture capital in life science entrepreneurship. In the ambitious, resource-intensive world of life science ventures, successfully navigating funding pathways often defines the boundary between groundbreaking innovation and unrealized potential. Even the most transformative scientific discoveries face an uncertain future without clear strategic funding. Today's lecture will comprehensively guide you through the critical strategies for securing grants, including NSF, NIH, SBIR, STTR funding, as well as engaging angel investors, venture capitalists, and strategic partners. By mastering these funding strategies, your startup significantly increases its ability to scale, innovate, and achieve lasting market success. Let's begin by exploring non-dilutive funding. Grants. Grants offer startups essential capital without sacrificing equity ownership, providing foundational resources critical to early-stage innovation. For life sciences entrepreneurs, primary grant sources include the National Science Foundation, NSF, National Institutes of Health, NIH, and particularly Small Business Innovation Research, SBIR, and Small Business Technology Transfer, STTR programs. SBIR, STTR grants are specifically designed to support small businesses developing innovative, high-risk technologies with substantial commercialization potential. These grants typically occur in phases. Phase 1 grants, approximately $150,000 to $250,000, fund initial proof-of-concept studies. Successful Phase 1 completion makes ventures eligible for Phase 2 grants, significantly larger, around $750,000, $1.5 million, intended for prototype development, extensive validation, and early commercialization preparation. Winning these grants demands meticulous application strategy. Clearly articulate your innovation's scientific significance, unique market value, commercialization pathway, competitive landscape, and broader societal impact. SBIR, STTR reviewers prioritize scientific rigor, market feasibility, innovation originality, and clear, actionable commercialization plans. Ensure robust scientific validation, clear market opportunity articulation, realistic timelines, defined milestones, and explicit commercialization strategies. Integrating respected academic or industry advisors significantly enhances credibility and reviewer confidence, directly improving your application's competitiveness. Grants profoundly enhance your venture's early financial strength, significantly reducing equity dilution pressures. Successful SBIR/SATTR grants also build credibility, signaling rigorous scientific validation and strategic commercialization potential, qualities deeply valued by investors and strategic partners. Beyond SBIR/STTR, numerous NIH and NSF programs fund specific life science domains: genomics, medical devices, digital health, biotechnology, and precision medicine. Tailoring grant applications explicitly to agency-specific priorities significantly increases funding success likelihood. Meticulous attention to proposal criteria, clear scientific objectives, and precise alignment with agency mission priorities directly improves proposal effectiveness. Building advisory relationships with experienced NIH-NSF grantees also enhances proposal quality significantly, leveraging their insights and strategic expertise. While grants offer essential foundational support, equity funding, angel investors, and venture capital remains essential for scaling aggressively and achieving sustained growth. Angel investors, wealthy individuals providing early-stage funding, typically invest in pre-seed and seed rounds, providing capital and strategic support precisely when ventures most critically need them. Angels invest based on innovation potential, founder credibility, and compelling market opportunities. Successfully engaging angel investors demands clear, concise, persuasive storytelling, clearly articulating scientific breakthroughs, credible market potential, and tangible investor returns. Angel investors also deeply value personal relationships and trust. Strategically leverage professional networking, warm introductions, industry events, pitch competitions, and personal referrals to establish meaningful connections. Demonstrate credibility through clear market sizing, TAM, SAM, SOM, competitive advantage, robust scientific validation, experienced team credentials, and clearly defined milestones. Transparency, credibility, and strategic clarity directly enhance angel investor confidence and funding success. Practically, angels significantly accelerate commercialization, enhance strategic networks, and signal credibility to subsequent investors. Effective angel investor engagement significantly strengthens market validation, early strategic alignment, and financial stability. Moving beyond angels, venture capital, VC, provides substantial equity investments, typically Series A rounds and beyond, explicitly designed for rapid scaling, commercialization, and aggressive market growth. Venture capital funding significantly enhances strategic credibility, provides extensive industry networks, and dramatically accelerates commercialization. Venture capitalists rigorously evaluate ventures based on scalability, clearly defined market opportunities, differentiation, competitive advantage, scientific validation, regulatory strategy, and experienced management teams. Successful venture capital engagement demands meticulous preparation, robust investor pitch decks, detailed market sizing analyses, TAM, SAM, SOM, comprehensive competitive analyses, clearly articulated scientific innovation, compelling commercialization plans, and realistic financial projections. Clearly communicate your scientific innovation's transformative market potential, uniquely differentiating advantages, rigorous scientific validation, credible clinical pathways, defined regulatory strategies, experienced team credentials, and substantial return on investment potential. Demonstrating commercial clarity, strategic rigor, scientific credibility, and market alignment significantly strengthens VC confidence, enhancing funding success and strategic partnerships. Practically, venture capital profoundly enhances your startup's market authority, commercialization capability, strategic networks, and financial robustness. Successful VC funding provides resources for aggressive scaling, extensive clinical trials, regulatory approvals, strategic hires, expanded manufacturing, international market entry, and robust market differentiation, crucial capabilities for sustained success. Additionally, strategic corporate investors, such as large pharmaceutical companies, healthcare organizations, or technology corporations, offer substantial capital, strategic partnerships, market validation, and extensive distribution channels. Strategic investors invest explicitly in ventures aligned with their corporate priorities, strategic objectives, or innovation interests. Securing strategic investment demands clearly demonstrating alignment, explicitly communicating how your innovation strategically complements their corporate objectives. Rigorous competitive analyses, robust scientific validation, credible commercialization plans, defined regulatory pathways, and experienced management teams significantly enhance strategic investor confidence and engagement success. Hybrid funding approaches significantly amplify success. Many life sciences ventures strategically combine non-dilutive grants, angel funding, venture capital, and strategic investment, leveraging each funding source strategically at specific growth stages. Grants provide essential early-stage resources. Angel investors enable initial market entry and validation. Venture capital accelerates aggressive scaling and commercialization. And strategic corporate investors provide robust distribution networks, market validation, and long-term partnership opportunities. Practical example. Suppose your venture develops novel gene editing technology. Early-stage SBIR-STTR grants initially validate your scientific credibility and provide crucial prototype development resources. Subsequent angel investments fund early market entry, initial clinical studies, and essential business operations. Venture capital investments aggressively scale commercialization, fund extensive clinical trials, secure regulatory approvals, and expand manufacturing capabilities. Strategic pharmaceutical company investment provides robust global distribution, regulatory expertise, strategic partnerships, and substantial market authority, ensuring sustained global success. Practically navigating these funding pathways demands rigorous strategy, meticulous preparation, clear articulation, credible validation, targeted networking, and continuous investor relationship management. Meticulously preparing investor materials, pitch decks, financial projections, scientific validations, market analyses, and competitive differentiators significantly strengthens funding success. Strategic professional networking, warm introductions, investor events, conferences, and robust industry relationships profoundly enhance investor engagement effectiveness. Common pitfalls include unclear scientific validation, insufficient competitive differentiation, unrealistic financial projections, inadequate investor materials, superficial investor relationships, or poorly targeted grant applications. Meticulous preparation, strategic relationship building, credible validation, rigorous market analysis, transparent communication, and continuous strategic refinement significantly mitigate these risks. In conclusion, strategically navigating grants, NSF, NIH, SBIR, STTR, angel investors, venture capital, and strategic corporate investors profoundly enhances your life science venture's success, scaling capability, financial stability, strategic partnerships, and market authority. Mastering these funding pathways significantly accelerates your transformative scientific innovation from visionary discovery to impactful market reality. Strategic rigor, meticulous preparation, transparent communication, and continuous investor engagement position your startup confidently, enabling profound, sustained innovation impact within healthcare, biotechnology, and life sciences. I'm mastering your investor pitch, team building, and strategic execution roadmap in life science entrepreneurship. In the fiercely competitive and resource-intensive world of life sciences entrepreneurship, transforming visionary scientific breakthroughs into sustainable, impactful businesses requires much more than technical brilliance alone. It demands exceptional clarity in communicating your innovation to investors, strategic precision in assembling your team, and rigorous discipline in executing your roadmap. Today, we'll explore in depth precisely how to master your investor pitch, strategically build an exceptional startup team, and design an effective execution roadmap, critical components for sustained entrepreneurial success in the life sciences. First, let's clearly define the investor pitch. one of the most critical tools in your entrepreneurial toolkit. Your pitch is a concise, compelling presentation of your venture designed explicitly to persuade investors to fund your innovation. Typically structured as a 10-slide presentation, your investor pitch must clearly articulate your scientific breakthrough, market opportunity, competitive advantages, regulatory strategy, team credentials, commercialization plan, and financial expectations, all within a precise, concise narrative. The pitch begins with a powerful opening, the hook. Clearly and succinctly articulate a compelling problem or unmet clinical need. In life sciences, your hook might highlight significant patient populations lacking effective treatments, costly inefficiencies in healthcare delivery, or urgent unmet clinical needs. Clearly stating why your innovation matters profoundly captures investor attention immediately, creating context for the rest of your pitch. Next, clearly introduce your solution. Briefly, yet explicitly, describe your innovation, emphasizing precisely how it addresses the defined problem or unmet need. In life sciences, articulate precisely your diagnostic innovation, therapeutic breakthrough, biotech advancement, or digital health solution, clearly differentiating your solution from existing market alternatives. Clearly communicate the unique scientific validity, clinical efficacy, and patient benefits your solution provides. After defining your solution, meticulously outline your market opportunity, clearly calculating your total addressable market, TAM, serviceable available market, SAM, and serviceable obtainable market, SOM. Investors rigorously evaluate market sizing accuracy, competitive awareness, and realistic revenue projections. Explicitly communicate your market size estimates, assumptions, competitive landscape, and credible growth potential, significantly enhancing investor confidence. Clearly presenting competitive differentiation follows next. Precisely explain why your innovation distinctly surpasses current market alternatives or competitive startups. Highlight unique intellectual property, superior scientific validation, accelerated regulatory pathways, competitive pricing advantages, improved patient outcomes, or strategic partnerships. Investors significantly value startups clearly demonstrating market awareness, competitive insights, and strategic differentiation. Next, clearly articulate your business model and commercialization strategy. Precisely describe your revenue generation approach. Product sales, licensing, subscription models, strategic partnerships, and your defined go-to-market strategy, including regulatory pathways, clinical validation timelines, reimbursement strategies, and distribution channels. Investors seek strategic clarity, realistic execution timelines, and clearly defined commercialization milestones. Additionally, investors rigorously evaluate your regulatory strategy. Clearly describe your anticipated regulatory pathway, specific FDA classification, if applicable, anticipated approval timelines, key regulatory milestones, and associated risks or barriers. Demonstrating robust regulatory literacy, realistic timelines, and clearly articulated approval pathways significantly strengthens investor confidence. Clearly articulate your financial projections and funding needs. Present realistic, credible projections, typically 3 to 5 year financial forecasts, clearly demonstrating expected revenues, cost structures, profitability timelines, and anticipated return on investment potential. Explicitly communicate your current funding round objectives, capital usage plans, defined milestones, and anticipated future funding needs. Finally, clearly introduce your exceptional team, emphasizing industry expertise, scientific credibility, regulatory experience, commercialization capabilities, and entrepreneurial track records. Investors significantly value credible, experienced teams possessing complementary skills and proven execution capability. Clearly communicating your team's credibility profoundly enhances investor confidence and funding success. Let's deeply explore strategic team building next. Exceptional teams form the foundational backbone of life science ventures. Your startup team profoundly impacts investor perceptions, strategic effectiveness, commercialization capability, regulatory navigation, and overall entrepreneurial success. Strategically assembled teams combining diverse, complementary expertise, scientific excellence, regulatory literacy, commercial acumen, clinical expertise, operational discipline, and financial management capability. Clearly define core team roles explicitly aligned with your venture's strategic priorities. Chief Executive Officer, Vision, Fundraising, Strategy. Chief Scientific Officer, Scientific Credibility, Research Excellence. Chief Medical Officer, Clinical Strategy, Regulatory Oversight. Chief Financial Officer, Financial Rigor, Investor Management, and Chief Operating Officer, Operational Discipline, Commercialization Execution. Leverage respected advisory boards strategically. Clearly communicate credible advisors, scientific experts, clinical leaders, regulatory authorities, seasoned industry veterans, significantly enhancing investor confidence, strategic credibility, and professional network strength. Advisors profoundly complement your core team, significantly strengthening strategic decision-making, investor confidence, and market credibility. Strategically build teams with clear roles, robust communication structures, and shared strategic vision. Explicitly define responsibilities, reporting structures, decision-making authority, and communication expectations. Cohesive, clearly defined teams significantly enhance strategic execution, investor confidence, and overall effectiveness. Finally, meticulously designing and executing your strategic roadmap profoundly impacts entrepreneurial success. Your roadmap clearly communicates your execution plan, milestones, strategic objectives, and timelines, serving as your strategic blueprint for sustained success. Practically, your roadmap explicitly defines key strategic milestones, prototype development timelines, clinical study initiation, regulatory approval submissions, product launch dates, revenue milestones, funding rounds, strategic partnerships, hiring plans, and commercialization objectives. Investors significantly value clearly defined, realistic, strategically aligned milestones explicitly tied to financial projections, risk mitigation strategies, and long-term objectives. Explicitly define strategic milestones across defined timeframes, typically quarterly or annually, clearly communicating anticipated accomplishments, required resources, defined metrics for success, and associated timelines. Meticulous milestone tracking significantly enhances strategic discipline, execution effectiveness, and investor confidence. Regular strategic reviews explicitly evaluate milestone progress, market dynamics, competitive landscape shifts, regulatory updates, and resource constraints. Continuous strategic evaluation informs roadmap adjustments, ensuring ongoing relevance, responsiveness, and strategic alignment. Qualities deeply valued by investors and stakeholders. Clearly communicate your roadmap transparently, internally to align team execution and externally to investors, regulators, and strategic partners. Transparent roadmap communication profoundly enhances stakeholder trust, credibility, and strategic alignment, significantly enhancing market effectiveness and sustained success. Practically, consider an example. Suppose your venture develops innovative personalized cancer diagnostics. Your strategic roadmap explicitly outlines milestones. Initial prototype development, month 6. Clinical validation studies initiation, month 12. FDA submission, month 18. Expected FDA approval, month 36. Market launch, month 38. Revenue milestones, 5 members annual recurring revenue by year 4. Series A funding round, month 24, and strategic partnerships with oncology centers, years 3 to 5. Clearly communicating these milestones profoundly enhances investor confidence, strategic discipline, market effectiveness, and overall entrepreneurial success. Common pitfalls include unclear investor pitches, superficial market sizing, inadequate team expertise, unrealistic financial projections, poorly defined milestones, or insufficient regulatory planning. Meticulous preparation, strategic clarity, credible validation, robust market analysis, and continuous execution discipline significantly mitigate these risks. In conclusion, mastering your investor pitch, strategic team building, and rigorous execution roadmap profoundly enhances your life science ventures credibility, strategic clarity, investor confidence, market effectiveness, and long-term entrepreneurial success. Exceptional clarity in investor communication, disciplined strategic execution, credible team building, and continuous strategic responsiveness transform groundbreaking scientific innovation into sustained commercial success, market leadership, and profound industry impact. Accelerating your journey from visionary discovery to transformative, impactful market reality.